Hello, everyone. I want to look into this case from that night from the perspective of David, Clayton, and Ricky, each individually. This is an energy reading. It's all alleged, my opinion, not fact. I want to do, from each of their perspectives, 10 cards. How did the night unfold? I'm going to start with Clayton or end with Clayton. I think I'm going to start with Clayton because I feel like there's something different about that than the other two. All right, so Clayton, let's start with Clayton. 10 cards, how did the night unfold? 5 of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, excuse me, Knight of Wands, 7 of Swords in reverse, 3 of Pentacles. Is this a bet? I'm upset because I lost a bet is what this feels like to me. I go head to head with someone and I lose. The Emperor in reverse. The Fool. This feels like I make a bad bet or I go head to head with someone and I lose. Or I'm trying to give myself some extra excitement in some way and it backfires. It does feel like everybody saw this go down. The Emperor in reverse and the Fool. Feels like I kind of walk myself into a bit of a trap, not understanding. Nine of Cups right now is reading to me like overconsumption, so that I don't fight back. 5 of Wands in reverse. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Overconsumption or something given too much so that I cannot fight back. And because of that, I'm not able to protect myself. I want to say this feels like a bet. Like either a bet gone wrong or like I call you out on something and it goes wrong. This is like practicality versus ego. So let's see what we get in confirmation. It feels to me like either a bet gone wrong or like an ego-fueled, no, I'm right type of thing. Fired is the first card. Fired for 5 of Cups. So I'm mad that I'm upset that I lost, or someone's upset that they lost. I don't know if it's the Knight of Pentacles or the Knight of Wands, but 2 people are going head to head. One of them loses and they're sad. Clean up in reverse. Knight of Pentacles makes a mess. Oh, Knight of Wands, market manipulation. So Knight of Wands would be the host. Knight of Pentacles would be Clayton. It feels like there was some kind of bet or like something between Clayton and the host. The host loses it and is struggling with Almost like Clayton feels like he's not wanted there because of this, but doesn't want to leave because of his friends are there, if that makes sense. Like an awkward, okay, what am I supposed to do now? He took that the wrong way, or he took that far, as in the host. And then like, okay, well, I'll stay because my friends are here, but it's awkward. Seven of Swords in reverse, New World Order. That gives me the energy of like, I'm going to pretend like I don't know what I'm doing when I know what I'm doing, coming from the host. I don't know exactly how that translates. Three of Pentacles, unalived. All three of them ended up unalived because of this rivalry. The Emperor in reverse, private property in reverse. That's direct. The Emperor would be the host. Private property in reverse is I'm not leaving my house. Oh, what did I just say? I'm going to pretend like I don't know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. That's this. I'm going to pretend like I don't know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. I'm going to pretend like I don't know my friends are outside, not alive in my literal backyard, and that their cars are out front. I'm going to pretend like I don't know that. I'm going to pretend like I didn't leave the house, but I do know that. And that came right after Three of Pentacles, alive. Oh, Pentacles, that answers my question. So Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles is Clayton going head to head with the Knight of Wands, who's the homeowner, and that person lost control in some way and is trying to act like they don't know what they do know, allegedly. The Fool, drama in reverse. So in the first reading, I was getting like the movie The Hangover vibes, where like the one friend drugs the other friend so that they can be buddies. Um, the Fool with drama in reverse makes me feel like, especially because it's right under Knight of Pentacles, which is Clayton. So it feels like there was a bit of like a group huddle here, and it's almost like Clayton was like, should I just go? Like, this is weird. Should I just, I feel like he doesn't want me here or something like that. And it's almost like that's when something starts to happen because it's to get Clayton to stay. Can I have a confirmation of that? Spouse partner in reverse. Look, it's like holding on to arms to get him to stay. I didn't want him to leave. It's almost like from the host, he's like, I don't want Clayton to leave because does that mean I lost my friends? Because if he leaves, then are they going to talk about me once they leave, and then they're going to come to a conclusion they don't want to hang out with me anymore? It feels like that. It keeps feeling like the Hangover movie to me, like gone wrong, obviously. Nine of Cups, parental figure in reverse. I said this was overconsumption. Parental figure in reverse. I'm purposely leading you in the wrong direction of overconsumption. Five of Wands in reverse. Breakup. I don't want him to. This is like what I said. I couldn't fight back and protect myself because of overconsumption. It's almost like I'm unable to do whatever it takes to get myself either to a phone or something. Like there's not enough time. I'm not able to do that because of too much of something. He didn't want him to leave. So in the first reading, I said it was almost like something happens, and then in order to cover that up, something happens more, and that's what pushes it too far. It feels like that's this. It feels like I don't want Clayton to leave, because if he leaves, they're all going to talk bad about me, or they're all going to talk about maybe what they know about me or something. I don't know. So it's like I need to prevent Clayton from leaving. So something is given to Clayton, and it feels like something goes wrong, and then Four of Pentacles in reverse. Snake. I was unable to protect myself from the snake. Can I have a clarifier from Clayton's energy that would be obvious about this spread? Neighborhood in reverse. I never got to leave the house that I went to. All right. Let's do David next. So 10 card spread from David's energy. Two of Swords. Five of Wands. It's weird. It's like the host didn't want Clayton and David talking to each other. Like, unless he was involved in the conversation. King of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. I'm working really hard. Magician in reverse. So from David's perspective, it feels like I'm told something and I'm conflicted about how I feel about what I'm told. And I'm working really hard to see how I feel about what I'm told, to get to the bottom of it. Almost like he felt like he was being forced to pick sides a little bit, and if that makes sense. This definitely wasn't about like Jeopardy or something. I know they were also watching the game, but it feels like there's some kind of ongoing rivalry surrounding some kind of either bet or like ego thing. Six of Wands in reverse, Judgment in reverse, Queen of Swords, the Tower in reverse, Queen of Pentacles. So I'm trying to make a decision about how I feel about information I was given. I'm trying to see which side of the fence I'm on about it. I'm struggling to make a final decision if we should stay or if we should go. Look at this. Can you see that good? Probably not. So we have Queen of Swords, the Tower in reverse, and Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so let me tell you what I see here. This face looking at the cloud of the Queen of Swords. And this is like, come on, let's go, right? With the Queen of Swords hand out. It feels like Clayton pulls David aside to have a conversation about whether or not he should leave or how he should feel about a certain situation. Almost like if at this time they would walk outside to talk to one another, but someone that it's like this person shouldn't be there. It's a cloud face. There shouldn't be a face there, right? It feels like that's the host overseeing a conversation that they were having somewhere else to get away from the host, but the host is looking at the conversation happening. The Tower in reverse and Queen of Pentacles, there's two people falling out of the tower here, and here there's two bunnies on the ground. It feels like there's one of the men, Clayton, that's singled out differently than the other two men and their relationship with the host. It feels like there was something going on between Clayton and the host. It feels like it has something to do with an ego bruise around like a bet, or it doesn't have to be like a literal bet. It just feels like a buildup of tension. And Clayton was kind of like, how do I read this? Should I leave? Because if I leave and you guys are still cool with him, is that going to mess things up for you? It feels like that. Like, it feels like Clayton was kind of like, I don't really want to stay here, but I don't want to mess things up for the group. So what should I do? It feels like that was the conversation between Clayton and David. But you have someone lurking over the corner here. It feels like that's what caused problems, right? Almost like they maybe saw him lurking and were like, okay, now we want to figure out what's this, right? It feels like its pieces started to come together, but it feels like one of the men is singled out over the other two. Because look, it's like these two fell out of the tower after there was two having a conversation. One asked the other one to come here, have a conversation. Somebody was overhearing it, and then it causes this problem. It's like, but the conversation between Clayton and David feels like it was to avoid a tower. I'm trying to avoid the tower by saying, what do you want me to do? I don't really want to be here, but this is awkward. What should I do? Type of thing. And Queen of Pentacles here, Clayton came up as the Knight of Pentacles. So it feels like he was looking for advice from David about how to handle a situation that was becoming uncomfortable between him and the host, if that makes sense. Okay, so Two of Swords, decision, landfill in reverse. Am I too trashed to drive? Oh. So people were saying that it's not abnormal for them to stay at each other's houses when they've been intoxicated. It almost feels like there was a conversation like, I don't know if I should drive, but I don't necessarily want to stay after that. What should I do? It feels like that because, like, if I call for a ride, it's obvious that I just didn't want to stay here. And that may cause beef because his ego, as in the host, is already triggered. So the only way for me to go is if I call someone to pick me up because I'm way too trashed, but I also don't want to stay, but I also don't want to cause problems. It feels like that was the conversation between Clayton and David was trying to figure out what to tell him to do. It feels like what advice to give him. Man-made disaster in reverse, Five of Wands. I'm trying to avoid a disaster. I'm trying to not make things worse. King of Cups. Yeah, King of Cups, marriage wedding in reverse. A mix between I don't want Clayton to leave and I know that if he calls someone to pick him up, it's going to cause issues. Like the host is going to read into it. And not that it was even that serious because it feels like they're not picking up on like, oh, this is a life or death situation. It feels like they're more just picking up on like, do I like if I do this, it's going to mess up the friendship. This guy's not going to let it go. He's going to take it this way. It feels like that. But when you're intoxicated, those things kind of feel like a bigger deal, if that makes sense. It feels like a bit of paranoia as well. That could have been from some kind of substances. Seven of Pentacles. Cleanup. I'm working really hard to clean up the narrative to avoid a tower. And I'm using deception and my image. I'm like using my image to try and clean up avoiding a tower. The Magician in reverse. Bloodline. Deception around what was taken into the body. Cross a line. It feels like there was a decision made in a moment where the host saw an issue happening and made a decision to walk away, walk back inside. Six of Wands in reverse. Oh, I'm trying to keep my image clean. I feel like my image can help me get out of this because I'm so smart and all this and that. And if I was going to do this, then wouldn't I do it in a more intelligent way other than just acting like I don't know what's going on? Trying to cover up the way the public views me by using my current image to cover up for what this is and clean up to avoid a tower. Judgment in reverse. No movement. Judgment in reverse, no movement. If I just stay in the house and I have the story of not leaving, then mixed in with my reputation or my image, people will believe my story from the host. Queen of Swords. The Mighty, and that's right under King of Cups. I'm using my image. I'm letting my image speak for me and hoping that it helps me avoid the tower, hoping I did enough work so that people believe that I just happened to not walk outside and see them. It's almost like a situation where, let's say the host did get arrested. It would almost be like if he were to be very egotistical and say like a smart statement, he may say something like, okay, but how are you ever going to prove it? How are you ever going to prove that I knew, type of thing? Like that kind of attitude. The Tower in reverse. Hidden Key in reverse. So Queen of Pentacles would be representing David in the conversation he's having with Clayton. There's some kind of hidden key in that conversation about avoiding a tower. What's the hidden key and what's the tower? Hidden key. Happy to leave. It's on the person's standing on the street. So the hidden key is that Clayton wanted to leave to avoid the tower of burial in reverse. Clayton wanted to leave to avoid burial in reverse. What did Clayton think the host had planned? Teach him a lesson. About what? Teach him. So Clayton thought the host wanted to teach him a lesson about boat overconsumption. What's boat? Meeting in reverse. Responsibility? I'd be curious if there was something that Clayton needed to do the next day that almost like if the host wanted to bruise Clayton's ego because of the host's ego being bruised. oh, I'll make it impossible for him to do his duties the next day, and it's going to look like he's irresponsible or this or that, and it went too far. Because I want to teach you a lesson. Because you wanted to leave, and if you leave, you're going to take my friends away from me. It feels like those three were the best friends. I know we know that. And the host was like on the outside of the friendship, it feels like, but it feels like the host wanted to swap out one of them into the trio and put himself in the trio. And it feels like he had chosen Clayton to try and evict from the trio. Look at that, all the faces. And he was angry that he wasn't able to do that. What I just got was that David was going to leave with Clayton, and that's when something like went down. Almost like, am I on the right track with that? Hired, you're not allowed to leave. Help me with this so you don't leave. Help me with this, trying to buy time so you don't leave. Bad. Strangulation in reverse. Bad talk. Help me with this, and it goes, something in the conversation goes wrong. Is that fair to say? Female. Something in the conversation goes wrong, as in, oh, real flag, power in reverse, fire. Something goes wrong in a conversation. It causes something to flip. It lights a fire that ignites abuse of power in a way, because the host gave them too much of something to prevent them from leaving. Betrayal exposed. Can I have one card from David to confirm this information? Missing piece. Is there another card that goes with that? Secret trip. Either someone ran out to grab something and brought it back, or someone came over to the house and dropped something off. Oh, and then it got put into something that they consumed. Someone went out to get something and put it in what they consumed and didn't tell them about it. Is that the message? That's the message. Now we have drama upright, someone standing in the shadows. We have a rope here. Once it was consumed, that's how I wasn't able to really move. It's almost like I became frozen before weather froze me. All right. All right, and Ricky. So 10 cards, Ricky's view of the night from start to finish. Three of Swords in reverse, Ten of Pentacles, the Sun, Two of Cups, Six of Cups in reverse. I'm finding that it feels like out of the three, Ricky was the least attached to this. Almost like Clayton went to David and then Ricky was like, oh, what's going on? It feels like he's just kind of having a good time with his friends, more on like the outside looking in to this, to like what was brewing, I guess you could say. Almost like if Clayton and David were kind of like shooting each other looks like what's up with the host, and Ricky was kind of just into the game or into whatever they were watching. It feels like that. But then it feels like he ends up kind of coming together with the other two, and kind of has this energy of, well, if you want to leave, let's just leave. We don't have to stay. We don't really have, if he gets mad, he gets mad, whatever. It feels like that's kind of the energy coming from him. Like I pick my two friends over anybody else any day. I feel like Ricky was the least in under the influence or intoxicated out of the three. I feel like he was in the most control over himself. And I almost feel like he was in some way kept away from the other two. Or maybe this just is he didn't go outside when the other two were talking or walk in the other room. There's a conversation between Clayton and David that the host saw. I don't think that Ricky was part of that conversation. This would almost be like if the other two were outside, like, and Ricky was totally unaware, and the other two were already in the midst of passing, and then something happens with Ricky. It feels like that, almost like maybe he's led out. There's something different about what unfolded with Ricky versus what unfolded with the other two. Let's see if we can get more info. I almost want to say Ricky had kind of already set a time that he was leaving or something. Like, almost like Ricky had already decided he was going to stay till the morning or something and planned on leaving early in the morning. There's like a bit of, oh, well, I'm kind of too messed up to drive, so I'm just making peace was kind of, I don't know, there's like something different about what happened with him. Almost like an afterthought, like, oh crap, what am I going to do about him? Three of Swords in reverse, intergalactic travel in reverse. So I'm okay with staying. It almost feels like Ricky was seeing this as like a break from life for a moment. Like maybe he just kind of was stressed out and needed a minute, and this was the minute, if that makes sense. Ten of Pentacles, breakup in reverse. So he wasn't planning on leaving. So if he wasn't leaving and they were all going to stay, and then all of a sudden Clayton wanted to leave, is the energy I'm getting. The Sun, gift in reverse. It just feels like he drank less or ate less of whatever was making them intoxicated or under the influence. Two of Cups. Unaliving. There's something so different about Ricky's case versus the other two. We have Two of Cups. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the other two were outside already unalived while Ricky was unaware of this. Maybe fell asleep or something. I don't know. There's something off. Or it could be that it just took longer to hit Ricky. Six of Cups in reverse. There's that Two-Face card again. Six of Cups in reverse. I'm mad I can't compete with the relationship that the three of you have from the host. Page of Cups in reverse. No. Assassination in reverse. So he was not aware that the other men were passed away before he ended up passed away. Confirm. Tunnel, light at the end of the tunnel in reverse. Yeah, he didn't know. Why didn't he know? What was going on with him that he didn't know? School. He was just watching something or preoccupied. King of Swords. Cover up in reverse. Uncover. I said he was the most in control. Hanged Man in reverse. Serial unaliver. Is it fair to say that it was actually Ricky that started to pick up on Clayton or David not seeming Clayton? It feels like Clayton. Almost like Ricky stopped drinking or eating or something to keep an eye on Clayton, who seemed a little bit too something. Pieces falling apart. So you're falling apart. I want to keep an eye on you. But then somehow I lose track of that and you end up outside and I'm not aware. Nine of Cups in reverse. Epstein in reverse. It feels like, and I know they probably wouldn't come forward and be like, oh, it was me. It feels like someone dropped something off to this house at some point. And I guess it could have been beforehand, but it feels to me like someone that night dropped something off or somehow got something to that host. And it's almost like in combination with whatever they were already given, it just didn't mix well. Hired. I said someone came and dropped something off. Hired. I call on you to do this. Four of Pentacles. I'm trying to protect my friend who feels like he's too trashed. It doesn't feel like the person that I'm seeing that dropped something off, it doesn't feel like it's that fifth person. I mean, I guess it could be, but I feel like if it was, that the homeowner would have already turned on him. Can I have a card from Ricky to confirm? Same thing. Snake, but in reverse. Who did this come out for? David as the last card? I can't remember. Snake in reverse. So almost like he was keeping an eye on his friend, but not because he thought his friend was being messed with, just because he wanted to make sure his friend was okay. Almost like I'm looking at you like, are you okay? But not because I feel like something's nefarious, just because I feel like you drank too much and I'm trying to get a read on it, it feels like. Distraction. Trying to do something else other than allow myself to get more intoxicated so I can keep an eye on my friend. Confirmation. Weird science. So I can keep an eye on my friend. Weird science. Interesting. Might as well do it from the host's perspective too. This is named Jordan, I think. All right, Jordan's perspective. 10 cards of the night from Jordan's perspective, the host. Temperance in reverse. A reckless imbalance. Knight of Cups. Four of Swords. The Emperor. The Fool in reverse. I feel a reckless imbalance because someone brings some kind of offer to me and I, the Emperor, get defeated by said offer and I feel like a fool. The Moon in reverse, some kind of revelation of something that I wanted to keep hidden. Eight of Cups with the Knight of Cups. I try to decline said offer and I don't. I go through with it anyway and I end up making a fool of myself. I need to find a way to detach from this. I'm used to getting what I want, especially when it comes to my ego being hoisted up by others. Justice in reverse. Under the Fool in reverse, I look foolish and it leads to an injustice. Let's just see what we get here. Temperance in reverse. Witness. Reckless imbalance that was witnessed by others. Someone saw the side of me that I like to keep hidden, and it causes me to act. I almost said act out of character, but like there was like a boop, don't say that. That's not it. So it doesn't feel like it's necessarily out of character for him to act a certain way when his ego is triggered. It's just that normally it doesn't get taken this far, is what it feels like. Knight of Cups, mental health in reverse. My mind is messed up because of this offer that was brought to me, which feels like a bet or like an ongoing thing. I don't know. Snake in reverse for Four of Swords. So that's what makes me switch because I feel defeated. The Emperor. Intergalactic travel in reverse. I can't get away from feeling like I have to have the last say. I have to be the one that's right. The Fool in reverse. I can't feel foolish. It's not okay. War in reverse. They started a war they're not aware of by triggering my ego. The Moon in reverse. What did they see that he did not want them to see? Market manipulation in reverse. Exposed manipulation. I'm almost wondering if he had something like on a computer or something and he felt like they saw something they weren't supposed to, or they did see something he didn't want them to see. Almost feels like there's a little bit of that in there, like, oh, I wish you didn't see that. But again, it could be a personality trait that he lets slip out that he wishes he didn't. But for some reason, the numbers and everything are really catching my attention on this card, like the computer element of them. Eight of Cups, greed. And that's right under the Knight of Cups, which would be the offer or the bet or whatever it was. Hanged Man in reverse. Breakup in reverse. I can't get away, but I don't want you to get away either. You can't leave until I'm right. You can't leave till I have the last word. I can't let them leave until I prove my point. Hired. Epstein, those same two cards. You can't leave until I prove my point, so I hire someone to bring me something so that I can abuse my power. It doesn't feel like this is something that he whipped up in his kitchen or anything like that. I know people are saying like he's a scientist, maybe he was testing something. This feels like drugs. This just feels like I know about this certain thing that would do something with their minds or something with allowing them to stay long enough so I can prove a point. Like, I don't, there's something like that. Nine of Cups. So overconsumption then is linked to the Emperor. It feels like putting too much of something in something, in multiple cups, or abuse of power underneath the Emperor. So the Emperor abuses power when it comes to overconsumption or creating a scenario where there was overconsumption or misrepresented amount of something in something that was being consumed. Justice in reverse. I'm going to do this way. Justice in reverse. Card from David. Serial unaliver. That's direct. All right. Clayton. Justice in reverse. Couple in reverse. He didn't want Clayton to leave. Also direct. Ricky. Justice in reverse from Ricky. New World Order in reverse. It's like they saw a side of him that was from the past that he has buried, that if they were to see that side of him, that means it's back, as in the host. I wonder if the host has a gambling problem. That's like linked to some kind of addictive behavior or addiction problem. It's like something's linked together, and the host felt like the link of a problem was triggered. And almost like, if I don't make my point, this is going to keep eating at me, and it's going to make me go back to the past on some kind of addictive behavior or triggered behavior. Card from Ricky about that. Secret weapon. What's the secret weapon? Missing piece. Regret. Yeah, I don't think he was trying to unalive them. I think he was trying to prove a point, I guess. I don't know. It gives me the strongest The Hangover vibes that in any case I've ever seen. Like, it feels like we're the three best friends that anyone could have. It feels like that was playing in the host's mind, and he was like, I need to find a way in. And then my ego's triggered on top of that. So I put a little bit too much of something in something, and it's a domino effect of issues. And if one person is still alive at the end of the night, they can tell the story that's not going to match my story, just like that fifth person didn't match the host story. There's neighborhood up right now. If one person would have been left alive, they wouldn't have told the same story. Three more cards. Let's do 3 cards from Clayton. Whatever 3 cards you can give me to make this make as much sense as possible. Success in reverse. So it's not what he wanted to happen. It's a plan gone wrong because of some kind of timing issue. Revenge in reverse. Yeah, it's not I'm out to get you. It's I want to prove a point. I let my ego take the wheel and it all goes wrong. Jealousy in reverse. Wouldn't want to be you. Is it fair to say the message is from Clayton, wouldn't want to be Jordan once that autopsy comes out or toxicology comes out? Fear. That's what he's scared of. Okay. So there's something in there that's going to need an explanation that he's not going to have an explanation for. Mind control. Psychedelics. Money. I said psychedelics, money. Psychedelics of some kind. There's gonna be something weird in the toxicology or autopsy. I don't necessarily think it's psychedelics or something weird. Underwater in reverse. Something we wouldn't expect, or something almost like that's supposed to be there and is not there. I hope that doesn't mean that whatever was used just isn't findable. Oh, money. I almost want to say that the toxicology is going to feel confusing, or like, I don't know, something weird about it. Deep state. What's that mean? End of the road? I'm almost getting reference to like the first report not being good enough and someone saying we need to get a second thing or something. There's something weird about the toxicology report. But that's what I'm getting for now. Please remember that this is an energy reading. It's all alleged, my opinion, not fact. I'll do more on this as it comes out. Yeah, have a good day.